Yes, welcome once again, everyone. It's Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It's August 7th, 2019. The show, as always, is presented by the Marijuana Times. You can find us at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab there to find this show. A lot of great articles there as well. I talk about at least one of them each episode. marijuanatimes.org. Today we're talking about cannabis branding, who's ahead in that race. Also, the Princeton Review ranked colleges for that have the most marijuana use, the top 20. Take a look at those. Maybe you're at one right now. I don't know. Maybe your college finished outside the top 20 and you want to pump up those numbers. Either way, you're going to want to stay tuned for the story. Also, talking about legalization in Florida, specifically what John Morgan of Florida has to say about it. If you don't know who John Morgan is, he's big in the cannabis game in Florida, very rich lawyer who's behind the medical marijuana initiative. Will he be getting behind a recreational initiative? Well, we'll see. That's why you tune in to find the answers to these questions. But before all of that, Nature Side is who sponsors the show. Nature-side.com and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Grow safe and poison-free. Don't use banned pesticides in the state that you're growing in. And make sure you're regulatory compliant. You can do all these things, including not putting harmful chemicals on what you're growing. You can use Nature Side. Nature-side.com, a proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Go check out their organic, all-natural pesticides, whether you're growing cannabis or whatever you are growing. Maybe it's just for your lawn. You don't want to use pesticides. You got bugs. You got problems. Let Nature Side take care of those problems. Nature-side.com. This first story from Foster Winans on marijuanatimes.org. Who's ahead in the cannabis branding race? Perhaps no one knows this better than Harris Damashek, a cannabis industry marketing veteran with unique credentials. Before Harris headed up the design and launch of the Botanist chain of dispensaries for industry giant Acreage Holdings, he headed up the global effort by Anheuser-Busch to build his portfolio of craft beers into the world's largest. Altogether, he has 2 decades of experience in consumer product design, branding, and marketing. Whoops, I have messed up. There we go. No, it must have graphic snafu, but you didn't see it. Only I saw it. Of course, I told you that it happened, so now you know that it happened. But I'm not hiding anything here. I'm just pointing out, a little pump for my ego, that I fixed it before you saw it. So it's all good. So that's what I tell myself. An interview with the Marijuana Times just weeks after stepping down as Acreage's chief marketing officer, Damashek said he finds some branding similarities between beer and cannabis. Successful craft beers are often built on one or more of 3 elements: face, place, and story. Think about Samuel Adams or Sierra Nevada. Unlike cannabis, beer for the entire country is produced in a few central facilities. For instance, Anheuser-Busch operates 12 megabreweries in the U.S. As a result, the bottle of branded beer tastes the same in L.A. as it does in New York. Marketing is regional or national. It's consistent and thus easily scalable. Of course, cannabis is different. There's different rules in each state. You can't cross state lines because of federal rules. There's different, even in different towns and jurisdictions, there's different rules and laws for marijuana. You can check out this article at marijuanatimes.org. It's a bit of a long one. It talks about some of the brands that are doing well and why they're doing well. They also point out, Foster does, and Harris points out that a lot of the early customers of legal cannabis are being joined by the newer customers of cannabis, and consumer demand is a moving target that they have to keep track of, which is the same in every industry. As the consumer market matures, so is the branding process. He said the first wave of branders were bunches of people in rooms coming up with fun, cool names and trying to make a go of it. Now he says people with expertise in more traditional marketing categories, like his own, are either being attracted to the industry because consumers are embracing cannabis as a health and wellness product, a global category pegged at more than $4 trillion a year. That's right, I said $1 trillion. He points out they're moving away from, silly names like Blue Fire or Oregon Silver Haze, and instead vape pens are just saying things like bliss, sleep, calm, relief, really simplifying it for new cannabis consumers. As he points out, there's a lot of roadblocks for cannabis and for the legal cannabis industry. Obviously, federal law being the main one, but there's more after that as well. BusinessInsider.com brings us our next story. Princeton Review, a college admissions company, ranked the 20 colleges where students smoke the most weed. Yes, that's right. Get your pen and paper out so that you may write these down and get your admissions forms ready. In a survey of 140,000 students, most colleges that made the list were located in states where cannabis is legal, like Vermont, California, and Colorado. They surveyed the 140,000 students at 385 schools, asking them how widely is marijuana used at your school. According to a 2017 Monitoring the Future study from the University of Michigan, 38% of college students aged 19 to 22 have reported smoking weed in the past year. Taking a look at the list, we have number 20, Hamilton College in New York. We have Syracuse University. We have the University of Wisconsin-Madison in Wisconsin, obviously. Ithaca, also from New York. University of Colorado in Boulder, coming in number 16. Got to pump those numbers up, Boulder. Come on. Colorado College. And Colorado Springs is also in there. Champaign College of Vermont. State University of New York, obviously, from New York. It's more. Let's go down to the top 5. Move this along. Skidmore College in Saratoga Springs, New York. Never heard of it, but now I'll never forget the name. Skidmore College. Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut, clocks in at number 4. University of Rhode Island is number 3. Pitzer College in Claremont, California. It looks like I'm looking at the picture here on BusinessInsider.com, of course. There's linked in the description of this video, as are all stories that we talk about. If you want to look at these colleges and these pictures yourself, looks like a very advanced, at least architecturally, college. And apparently they smoke lots of marijuana. But number one college, at least for marijuana use, according to the Princeton Review, the University of Vermont in Burlington, Vermont. So there you go. Congratulations, University of Vermont. I don't know what you win other than a lot of mellow students, probably not a lot of fights, stuff like that. A lot of relaxed students. Maybe some of them are sleepy. I don't know. That can happen. You get a hold of an indica, go to class, well, you got problems. So get to the website, print out those admissions forms, get to the University of Vermont. Like I said, those of you who didn't make the top 20, I don't know what to tell you. Get moving. Smoke more weed. I normally don't say that, but in this context, if you want to get in the top 20, well, you got to put in the effort. I'm sorry. Well, tough love for you people out there. If you're not in the top 20, you need to make it up. Whatever deficiencies you're bringing to the table when it comes to marijuana use, you need to rectify them, or you're never going to get in the top 20. And then, what will happen to your life? I don't know. Probably the same thing was already going to happen, but still. It's for bragging rights. University of Vermont. The others are coming for you. I don't know. I don't think any of them care. They probably have no idea that this list even exists. This last story. From OrlandoSentinel.com out of Florida, John Morgan says, let's vote to make recreational marijuana legal in Florida next year. He tweeted, I believe that marijuana should be legal. I think we have time, and I think there's money to get it done. I already have the minimum wage signatures. Let's do this maybe. Forget Tallahassee. Hashtag for the people. Hashtag pot daddy. I'm not sure exactly. I guess that's a branding thing. I have no idea. I don't know what pot daddy means. June. Morgan tweeted a different tune. He said, I support the full legalization of marijuana. However, my plate is full with the living wage for Florida's working poor. I can only slay one dragon at a time. Now he says, I was approached by industry leaders who have deep pockets to do it and do it fast. Of course, we've mentioned before the latest Quinnipiac poll out of Florida shows 65% support for recreational marijuana. The Florida Sheriff's Association, which opposed medical marijuana in 2016, remains opposed to the full legalization opposed to the full legislation of recreational marijuana. I guess it's supposed to say legalization. I don't know, but it doesn't. It says legislation. Said FSA spokesman Nanette Schimpf, the legalization of marijuana. See, now they got me doing it. The first time they said legislation, now they went to legalization. The legalization of marijuana would be contrary to the interests of the public health, safety, and welfare, and would undermine the quality of life of the citizens of Florida. How? How would it? There's no answer to that question, of course. It's a rhetorical question. They say those things, but they never back them up. Never back up those statements because they can't. The Florida Medical Association which also opposed the medical pot initiative, did not return a request for comment. Morgan says there's other people who have deep pockets for this. Morgan himself has deep pockets. Whether or not he will empty those pockets a bit to support recreational marijuana remains to be seen. But at least he's on board publicly, so that should go a long way to maybe getting others to donate. They said Regulate Florida needs about $5 million to get these signatures that they're going to need. They just made it through the Supreme Court stage of getting the amendment on the ballot. Now they need 766,000 signatures, I do believe. Maybe it says it in here. It does not, but I think 766,000 is correct. Now John Morgan's on board. Maybe they'll throw in some money. At least maybe the donor network that he is behind will get behind an initiative. It's going to be an uphill battle, obviously, in Florida. It's going to be a huge swing state in the 2020 presidential election as well, so turnout should be pretty good. We'll see what happens. Florida's one of the many states we're watching in 2020 when it comes to adult use legalization, possibly getting on the ballot. We'll continue to cover that and all the other stories here on Cannabis News 5 days a week. MarijuanaTimes.org. Of course, you can find us, the Marijuana Times. If you search on YouTube and Vimeo, you'll find the videos. Search Apple Podcasts for the audio version of the show. Keep spreading the truth about cannabis with this show, liking, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching and listening today. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.